Welcome, all you Plus 2 comedy modifiers, to a very, very special episode of the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. I'm your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan. And before we get to this very special episode, I won't spoil it, you have to listen. I have to tell you about some upcoming shows. This very weekend, I will be heading up to DexCon in Morristown, New Jersey, along with the rest of Plus 2 Comedy. It's a fantastic gaming convention. It runs from Wednesday, the 4th, all the way to the 8th of July. We will be doing two versions of Game the Gamer. We'll be doing the Twit of the Year competition and the Pun competition. I'll be hosting the auction, and we're going to be doing something else. I don't want to give it away, but we might talk about it at the end of this very podcast. I don't know. So it'll be something for you to geek out over once you listen to this podcast. So come see us at DexCon. Go to dexposure.com for more information. But there's only 2 days left to get signed up, so you probably should have signed up already. The rest of the information I have to read off my phone. We will be heading to Otakon. Otakon is August 10th through the 12th in Washington, D.C. at the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. We will be debuting our brand new version of Beyond the Tentacle. So be sure to come and see us at Otakon for our brand new 18 plus panel. Also, we will be heading back to MagLabs. MagLabs is September 7th through the 9th at the Hilton Alexandria Mark Center in Alexandria, Virginia. We're not sure exactly what we'll be doing there, but we're doing a bunch of stuff. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So come see us at MagFest. It's always a good time. Just don't vape. Also, I don't know if I announced this on the podcast yet, but Cosplay Pro Wrestling will be rolling in to J1. The J1 Con is in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Showboat Hotel. So please come see us at the Showboat for some Cosplay Pro Wrestling. That is September 14th through the 16th. For more information, head on over to j1con.com. And that's the numeral 1, like Plus 2 Comedy. It's not the word 1, like a smart person should have done it. And finally, we are heading back to GameCon. Yes, GameCon is moving. It's now at the Ocean Resort Casino, the brand new casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And we will be there from October 19th to the 21st doing a bunch of stuff like Cosplay Pro Wrestling. I didn't say that. That's not official yet. But a bunch of great stuff is going there, so be sure to check out GameCon. For more information, go to GameAcon.com. Guys, thank you so much for being a listener to the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. And now, without any further ado, take it away.
Who's ready for a podcast? Everybody clap at home.
Thank you.
This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast coming to you semi-live from Gamers Vault. That's 175 Route 70 in Medford, New Jersey. I am your host, as always, TV's Noah Houlihan, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Will Liam. How you doing, Will?
Doing good.
Good. Glad to have you. This week is a very special episode, so we are joined in front of the cameras by the research department and the third member of Plus 2 Comedy, Ms. Laura Prince.
Hi. It's a very special episode. Which one of us gets an eating disorder or addiction for 30 minutes?
Jesse. It's Jesse.
I already look like I have an eating disorder. We don't need to go any farther.
And also, the producer of this podcast, Producer Jesse.
Hello.
Producer Jesse. I never give you your last name. I don't know why.
That's fine.
All right, good.
I don't even usually give it on my show, so
Yes,
it's fine.
and the host of the In Your Head podcast, former guest of the Plus 2 Comedy. You actually both were guests of the Plus 2 Comedy podcast.
Yeah, I was a Hail Mary guest when...
Yes. Yes, you were the reserve
when the
guest.
Civil War reenactor didn't show up?
No, you were... It was
the Roto-Rooter guy.
Yeah.
Chris Evans?
We had a podcast
wish.
where my plumber showed up at my house and was like, "Hey, you guys look like you like games." And I was like, "Yeah." And he gave me a card. He's like, "I run a tabletop World War II miniatures convention."
Nice.
And I was like, "All right, come on my podcast and promote it." And he canceled with 12 minutes notice.
I want to go to this convention.
Yeah, I tried to get us booked at it, and he was like, "You guys can work the door," and I was like, "That's not what we do."
No, I have so many Flames of War jokes.
Yeah, he would
That's
not
a
let
s-
us do comedy.
It's a tabletop World War
Yes.
II game, in case you guys are wondering.
But we should set up exactly what's happening here, because as Devin figured out on the Plus Two Comedy Facebook page, this is the final episode ? Of the Plus Two Comedy Podcast. Basically, we lied. It's not the final episode of the Plus Two Comedy Podcast. We're going to go on a bit of a hiatus. So we're going to take this final episode to kind of explain all the things that we got coming up, and basically also look back at some of our favorite podcast moments.
So really, last week's episode was the final podcast, as you know it.
Yes,
This is just a
Oh,
very special
yeah.
episode.
and which
This
was
is a clip show.
yeah, this is a clip show. This is the reunion special, which was great because we had the guys from Intelligent Check on, and they were fantastic. And more than any other guest said to me, "We'd love to come back on."
Yeah.
And I didn't have the heart to be like, "You're our last
It's
episode."
never
Yeah, we hate to
happened.
tell you what we're going to record after this.
Yeah. Also, for those keen eyes, we're wearing the same things because it's the same.
Oh, yeah. Well, we don't change either.
Yeah, we're cartoon characters
Mhm.
here. But this is episode 226 of the Plus Two, or no, 228 of the Plus Two Comedy Podcast, and we're going to take a break for a little bit. It's convention season right now.
Yep.
I'm getting married. Laura's getting
Yeah,
married.
Laura, I hear you're getting married as well?
No, that's
Oh,
just
you
like a
canceled.
fluffy rumor.
Oh,
I see.
oh,
Jesse?
I'm actually taking
Already been, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, happy anniversary, Jesse.
Thank you.
CM Pikachu will also not confirm nor deny he's getting married
Yeah.
to Noah.
That would
got-
would tear this group apart.
So if I married CM
Mhm.
Pikachu,
I'd
cool.
allow it.
Good to know. But thank you so much for always listening and watching to the Plus Two Comedy Podcast. We have been around for over 5 years doing this. The average podcast lasts. Do you want to guess how long the average podcast lasts?
3 weeks.
Oh, like a startup.
Yeah. Start podcast.
2 episodes.
2 episodes.
I said 3.
3. What do you think,
I'm
Jesse?
going to go about 20.
20.
Because
Oh,
it's if you're a little delirious, you just do it for the sake of it and then just let it die.
yeah. Oh, you overbid. The average podcast lasts 7 episodes.
Holy cow.
I win
Yeah.
by Price is Right rules.
Yeah, by Price is Right rules, and by not Price is Right rules, I believe you would still win.
Hooray!
Why didn't you say 2?
I said 3. You said 2.
Oh. But I want to
This
be the
all
winner.
just
Can I have
happened.
said 3?
Nope.
Thought I'd
It
get
just
ya.
happened. So we've been doing this for years. We've been in 5 different stores. We've did this count recently, and I don't remember because we started at Jester's Playhouse, and then we went, which is closed. Then we went to All Things Fun,
Which is closed.
Which is closed. Went back to Jester's for a little bit. Then when they
Still
closed, we.
Yeah, they called the cops because we were in an empty building.
Then we were at Adventureland, which is still alive.
We think.
Yes, yeah, I talked to Sal recently. Actually,
Okay.
it is still alive. So go ahead and check out Adventureland in the world's strangest mall, the Voorhees Town Center. It's still there. Say we sent you. Then there is
All things fun?
No.
All Things Fun. I already said.
Oh, okay.
After that, we went to Nerdvana,
Yes.
and then after Nerdvana, we came here.
Did I count wrong? I'm at 6.
Did
you
you
count-
count Gestures twice?
Probably.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So that's 5 places, plus all the conventions we've done at the live shows at. We
Moving
did live,
vehicle.
Yeah, we've done a couple on the roads, so I think location-wise, we definitely beat out a lot of
Like
different.
3 sad ones you did in your closet.
Yeah. There was at least 2 sad in the closet episodes. 3. There's 2 of me
The R.
alone,
Kelly ones.
and there's one with a guest whose name escapes me at the moment.
Josh.
Josh. Yes, we did that really bad Josh one. That I don't know, 15 minutes of it survived. That might be our worst episode.
It's not bad because of Josh. It's bad because of the technology.
It's bad from because it literally ends abruptly, and then I come in and I'm like, that's all we got.
Yeah.
We had to put out an episode this week.
There's one from the crap. What's that convention?
Neko,
Not Nekucon.
GTE?
Castle Point,
No, the one that means fox. Why am I blanking on this?
Kitsune.
Kitsune.
Katsucon. I knew
No.
that would jog my memory.
Oh, the one you did alone.
Yeah, it's from the Katsucon green room until guest relations found out I was doing it, and they
Yes.
kicked me out.
Yeah.
Oh, some from High Note Humor.
Some
Oh,
from High
yeah.
Note Humor.
Mm.
In the history of Plus 2 comedy, there are 2 episodes I'm not in. And I think there's like 12 episodes you're not in.
That seems high.
Well, because there's the ones I did solo.
Blizzard.
Right, yeah.
And then there's one where Badachek replaces you. There's one where Vegas replaces you. There's like
There's one
a
where
couple-
I replace
There's
you.
one where
Mhm.
Laura replaces
Mhm.
you. So yeah.
There's the couple of like the Blizzard episodes because we had like 5 of those this year.
Yep.
Yeah,
In a
yeah. We had a
row.
couple where we're
Yeah.
just kind of in our living room, just recording something because something had to go out. And that being said, something will come out on this channel every week still.
Yeah.
It just won't be the Plus 2 comedy podcast.
We got plans.
Yeah, if you look back at my numbering system, On the Road with Plus 2 Comedy is a bonus episode that does not count towards the numbering. Because if you go on to, let me actually take a look at this, because this is a good statistic for us. While there are exactly 228 episodes, or dang, I keep getting the number wrong, 227 episodes of the Plus 2 Comedy podcast, we've uploaded 259 episodes at the moment. So that'll go up to 261 when we're done here. So that's a lot of content we've put out. And some of those are over the hour, so we might have a year's worth of stuff. It might take an entire year
Wow.
if you listen to one a day. Who knows? I don't know. Math is hard. So before we explain...
That's not even close.
I was trying to say like an hour a year, but it's all messed up. In my
No, that's
brain.
even way
No.
wronger.
Guys, let's talk about our favorite moments here on the Plus
Math.
2 Comedy Podcast, because
I liked when Noah didn't know how many days are in a year.
it's like 200-ish, right? So me,
How much of Seasons of Love can I sing before we get dinged for copyright?
do not
Oh,
sing Seasons
not a
of Love.
lot.
So me and Will have been here for most of them. Laura's been there for a lot of them before she was the research department, and she was just come and hang out with us. Jesse became the producer on Rusty Wright's episode, but we didn't actually use the video for that. The first one with full video, I believe, is Vlad.
Right.
And that is when we started doing the Nintendo World Championships, which was Jesse's idea, and one of my favorite parts of the show now. So yeah, at this time, let me officially announce the winner of the championships.
Oh, I wonder who it could be.
It's Razorhawk. Razorhawk is the winner of the Nintendo World Championships. Our final scoreboard has Razorhawk as number 1. Number 2 is Jesse. Number 3 is John Deary, who did it by accident. Number 4, Jeff Stormer. Number 5 is Philip Steinberg of Drive Attack. Then number 6 is me. Number 7 is Will.
Yeah.
And number 8 is Paul Facetta, who somehow made it on the scoreboard without making it to Tetris. It is still
Investigation
baffling to us.
is still ongoing.
Still ongoing.
Oh, and a
Can't
happy
figure it
update: Drive Attack was fully funded on
Yeah.
Kickstarter, and we got the game recently.
out. Yes, we did. We had a very successful Kickstarter rate. All the ones that we care about got funded.
Are we not going to talk about that?
Oh
We
my
really
God.
shouldn't.
Okay.
We 100%
We should probably
should.
edit that out.
I'll probably edit that out.
Edit
I'd
point.
say their name. I don't remember what it was.
But let's. I keep saying we're going to talk
Tina
about our favorite
noise.
moments, and we keep not talking about it. So I didn't want it to do like a top 10 list or anything like that. Just like the episodes that like really stick out in my mind. And I have to say it. One of my favorite episodes is Brad Trackman.
Knew that was coming.
Just like as much as it was difficult for us to do, we do a very good job dealing with what's happening.
Oh my God.
Until you watch the video. I mean, watching Will in that video, which I've gone back and seen, when Brad says something, that I can't even narrow it down.
I believe he says, "Look at you trying to be funny."
Yeah,
something
look
like
at
that.
Yeah, and you look like you wanted to rip him in half like a phone
Yeah.
book.
This guy has so many jokes, it's not even funny. I think that's what.
No, it was like he said trying
Yeah.
to be funny. I
Yeah.
think was the phrase because that's
Oh,
right.
that
we should
you try
publish.
so hard to be funny, it's kind of sad. was the line.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
We
it.
should publish the transcript between Katie, Jeff Stormer, and me.
Yes, just
We're all in a
losing your
group chat,
minds.
sitting next to each other, and like just sending each other train wreck gifs and like.
Because this is when we had cameras, but I don't know if we were live on Twitch yet.
I don't think we were.
Because there was
I
a
don't
time where
think
we were
so.
just recording it and it wasn't streaming. Because man, would I love to have had the chat during that.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
because everybody hated them, and
Because-
they would have
yeah.
watched.
Because this was also back when we were still doing icebreaker questions, which something else that we kind of phased out of the show. And I remember posting like, "Who's got icebreaker questions for Brad Trackman?" And just visceral reaction I got from just mentioning that. I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, we had to be like, unbridled rage is not a question.
So yeah, we make jokes about Brad Trackman all the time. And if you haven't seen that episode, I recommend it because the struggle is there, and I feel like we won at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's so weird because like, if I had known, because now we're openly mean and
yes,
honest. Not mean, just honest. He's
Yes.
a terrible person and
Yes.
he did a bad job.
Well, yeah, because like before I was trying to be nice because he was our guest, and then I listened to his comedy album and I was like, this is offensive, and I'm not easily offended.
Well, then I was worried he was something like, you know how there's just those comics that like are kind of successful and they're good to have as a friend even if they're not funny or if they're not they're
Good
terrible
people.
Yeah, if they're bad people. And so I thought that was kind of the situation and not that it was meaningless.
Yeah.
So like it would have been a different podcast if I was not afraid of angering him. But he also probably would have left.
Yeah, yeah. Because that was the biggest compliment I got on it. Because like I remember saying like I feel bad I didn't like try to rip into him, and they're like, no, that was perfect because you just giving him rope to hang himself with, and I was like, yeah, all right, thanks. So that's one of my favorites. Does anyone else want to jump in with one of your favorite episodes?
I liked when we had the Wilczewskis from American Ninja Warrior on.
yes.
Because you guys had them play an incredibly physical game, and we did not have cameras at that time.
Yes, we didn't have cameras. We did a game that we've only done twice.
And it involved push-ups.
It was called the Push Up Is Right, and it was nerdy trivia questions, and all the answers were numbers. And if you got it wrong, you had to do a push up for every number off you were.
Oh, God.
So, and it was the best game I could think of for a duo. So Will would do questions, would answer the questions, and I would have to do the
It was
push-ups.
a very good
And
arrangement.
then Chris had to do push-ups for Brian's answers. And like,
And that found out how good of friends you guys were. Because when Will said there's 7 bones in the human body.
oh, I wasn't happy. But
Did I do that?
No, you didn't do that. You did very well.
There's at
in
least
that
32 bones.
No, you guys won.
game. And there's like, and I think there's like 80 days in a year.
Mhm. That's how long
no,
it takes to go around the world.
We did not beat the Wojcicki's in a push-up competition.
I think I remember that we did. So
No, we beat.
no, Laura seemed
I said
confident
you did well. I didn't say you.
that we beat the
I didn't
Wojcicki's
say
in a
you
push-up
beat
contest.
them. I said you
beat
didn't.
the Wojcicki's in a push-up contest.
But because I got real cocky, and on the first question I did clap push-ups, and everybody immediately turned on us. All of our friends that came to see this episode were like, Noah's the worst person.
He truly is.
Yes. And that transition's great into another one of my favorite episodes that we do, and we've
I'm
only
just gonna recap Noah's favorites.
actually, you know what? I'm gonna bring that up later. I will bring that up. I'm gonna put that in my pocket.
I
and I'll
didn't
bring it
have
up later.
something prepared. I just
Will,
wanted
what was
to
your favorite episode?
my favorite episode or favorite
One of
favorite
them.
moments?
One of your favorite moments.
I'm
of
gonna
the
go for a car cast when a nice lady working in a toll booth tried to reach out to Noah and have a human moment to have her hand slapped away.
Now, wait a minute. I've missed this. So you're going to have to. I didn't catch a lot of the back episodes, and my apologies, but fill me in on this, please.
So we were recording with Jeff in the car on the way to
Jeff Stormer.
NaughtaCon.
Yes.
And Noah had a what kind of shirt?
I was wearing the shirt of it's the Punch-Out shirt with the Pokemon on it, where it's Hitmonchan
Yeah, so
punching
just-
Machamp.
Given to you by friend of the show, Ramon Bender.
Yeah. shout out
3
to
levels of
Ramon Bender.
nerddom. And the lady at the toll booth, while she was getting our receipt, was like, "Oh, I like your shirt. that's Mario, and do you just say close and drive away?
She's handing me the change. I grab the change. I like your shirt, and I say thank you very much. And then she says, "It's Mario Brothers, right?" I'm like, "No, it's Pokemon and Punch Out." And she's like, "Oh, I thought it was Mario Brothers." And I just go close, and then I hit the camera.
Gone.
Because in my mind, like the toll booth interaction of money given and change gotten had happened so long ago that there are
she
people
served
behind
her
me.
function as a living robot to take your money. You no longer have to speak to her. But first, you should let her know she's dumb for not knowing your 2 levels deep nerd shirt.
If you're listening to this, Noah just smacked his head real hard in the wall.
Real hard.
He like fell backwards and hit his head.
I hope that came through.
I hope they hear a thump.
We'll have one in post.
Jesse.
Wait, hit your head. Can we get a clean one?
Jesse, I greatly appreciate everything you've done for this podcast.
Yes.
Because, like,
problem.
yeah, there's a video element now. There is, we were streaming live. Like, we talked about streaming live back in the Jester's Playhouse days.
In the before times.
Yeah. So, like single digits, it was a discussion. And then it didn't happen until episode, I think it's 211.
Wow.
So.
No, 211? What episode did you say?
I believe this is episode 220.
We've been streaming a lot longer than 10 episodes.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's whenever the Vlad episode is. So
Yeah.
let me.
We've lost track of time.
Yeah, +2 comedy Vlad.
I do love any of the Chikara episodes.
Yeah, those are always
are
great.
always very fun.
I still have people, like friends of mine, that were around for some of the Jakara. I ran into a guy like 2 days ago, and he was like, "You had that gentleman guy with the mask on your podcast? That was great." I was like,
Oh,
Jarvis.
Jervis
Jervis
he was
Cottonbelly.
So sweet.
That is a fantastic one.
And, like-
190.
And
Oh,
the
wow,
weird
okay.
little moments that are like we were in Adventureland when Ophidian came on, and then like we all had dinner, and there's Ophidian in like part of a snake mask eating a burrito
Yes.
because he didn't take it all the way off to
No.
eat the burrito.
Hashtag masked in public.
Yeah,
But
the lady at
Did
the
he
Chipotle.
unhinge his jaw to eat this?
see, this is what it is.
The lady at the Qdoba was so disturbed.
This is why that is one of my favorite episodes, because we are so on top of it with like our flow. Because I would ask him like a hardcore nerdy wrestling question, and then you would ask him a hardcore nerdy snake question, and we just kept doing it, and like we were
I
just
did
so
really
in sync
enjoy
in that
that.
episode. The Ophidian episode is so good for that reason, just because like we're on it with the bit.
I think it's still the featured image on the website on the podcast page
Good.
because it's just a great picture.
It's a snake man.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good snake man?
Are we still doing phrasing?
No, that was Archer.
Yeah, we never did phrasing.
Is Archer still doing phrasing?
I don't know what
No,
Archer's doing.
No one knows what Archer's doing. But Jesse,
We're like-
I appreciate so much all the effort that you put into this.
No problem.
And check out his podcast, the In Your Head podcast. I should have some free time soon, so I'll actually appear on it.
We'll get you on it finally.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm excited to watch that.
yeah. Because I was on the Lost episode, so I have to do a real appearance.
You still
on
do
the show.
drawings?
Oh well, yeah. That episode's gotta. I gotta air that sooner or later.
Okay.
But that
We'll
episode
see.
didn't turn into what we wanted it to for sure. But yeah,
Did Noah get racist?
He did a tap room episode.
we did a tap room when
so yeah,
when
he
Josh
definitely
Carter
did.
left. So it turned into a really weird episode of.
Yes.
So it never really aired.
Yeah, the tap room episode's also a very special place in my heart. The first one is when we had just lost Jesters as a venue, and I'm really sad,
Mm-hmm.
but I got some booze to make me feel better, and the show just gets like more and more off the rail as I'm just losing it. and the show ends where I'm playing with a staple gun and I just shoot myself in the leg. I'm like, oh, there were staples in there. That was bad.
Oh, I'm glad I'm learning about this right now.
Well, you should listen to the show.
Yeah, we switched places. I didn't like that.
Yeah, there was like an intersection of just.
Because, yeah, you were getting drunk, and then you also left a whole bunch, so I was there just hosting with comics, some of which I didn't know. And then also my terrible girlfriend at the time was also getting, like, drunk and high out there. I was like, no, don't do that, because you turn into a worse person. Oh, no. Oh, I gotta rein it in. No, stop drinking. Stop being sexist, comic. Oh, no.
What a great night. Check that one out.
I do love
I've
any
had
episode
fans
where
tell me that
Noah
was the
gets
best
mad.
The Noah Gets Mad episode?
Anytime you get mad on the podcast.
No, for real mad or his, like, frustrated...
He's never gotten for real mad on the
Yeah,
podcast.
that's... Okay, so that's what we're... Then, yes, I do like...
Like, I've seen him for real mad, like, I've known him for, like, 8 years, and I've seen him for real mad, like, 3 times ever.
No, I don't like
There's
it.
a few moments I know I'm on the show where I end up screaming, "This is my show," and that's when I know I'm really mad. I'm trying to think who like really brought me to that point. Chad Jarrows,
Did he?
Well, because like we did his interview segment, and then as soon as we got to the Geek Out, he went off into space, and I just had to keep like pulling him back in. There's a few times where the crowd turns on me, and I yell at them. I know we had a few of those moments. I've always enjoyed just doing this show. It's a very silly show we do.
Oh, no kidding.
Did the 5-minute diatribe about the Snake Man not drive that home?
Well, just I love the concept that we did it in a store where some people don't actually want to listen, and we're just kind of forcing it upon them. I liked that for the most part, the environment was a little hostile every time we did the show. Here, it's probably the most laid back it's ever been.
Yeah.
I don't think they even notice we're here most of the time, to be
Adventureland,
totally
I
honest.
never felt like it was hostile.
Adventureland, the very first episode in Adventureland, I remember I start the show and the room falls dead silent because no one knows what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So everyone's just like, "Oh, a show's happening. We should be quiet." And I'm like, "You guys can play your game and stuff like that."
They took us in. They
Yeah,
were,
and
Yeah.
then we were part of the fold very quickly. I remember at Adventureland, we did a show on my birthday, and I just showed up at like 3 and hung out, and that was just my birthday. That
yeah,
day.
and we like they brought you a cake.
And they
I brought
me-
you a
yeah,
cake.
I got 2 cakes.
Ooh.
It was a 2-cake day. It was a good time.
What kind of cake?
It was a cookie cake.
That was a good cake. Yeah.
They were
But-
both cookie cakes. 'Cause there was
Ugh.
a cookie cake place like literally right outside the door of
And they were like, you know, it's
Adventureland.
Noah's birthday.
Oh yeah, some girl just came to pick up a cake for them, and they looked it down, and they were like, "Oh, we also got him a cake."
Whoops. But Jesse, what would you say your favorite episode is? I know you haven't seen the entire backlog.
No,
but-
I know it's a strange one, and I'm sure probably nobody's going to agree that it was. No. And I honestly can't even remember the guy's name, so you guys will have to fill me in on this.
All right,
But
describe him.
you had a gentleman who came on who had a web comic or a comic book that he was doing, and he had several past works that he had. And I remember this interview because he wouldn't tell you anything about what he was on for.
Oh, the
Comic Verse.
Something.
Comic Verse
Yeah.
episode, yes.
And he wouldn't talk about anything that he had done. He wouldn't talk about anything he had coming up. He wouldn't even talk about what was the last candy he ate.
his favorite candy.
And that's what started my podcast, which is
tell me.
kind of why it was that's kind of why it has a special part for me, because that conversation, when I thought about it after the podcast, I thought about why wouldn't you say what the most recent
favorite
candy you'd
candy
had
is.
was, or that's what he said was the most recent candy you just ate, and he was like, I don't want to talk about it, and I was like, okay, it seemed, but then I thought, well, for some reason, Kinder Eggs came into my head, and he didn't want to self-incriminate because he's like, I don't want to say that I ate. Right, and that's kind of where the original idea for the statute of initiation for my podcast came from, because I'm like, just maybe to let people tell a little story of something that they might not be so proud of, and that's where it all kind of came from. So that episode always had a little,
Now, are you worried?
American Kinder Eggs are beat, by the way.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
not,
they're
any
not
good.
good.
Garbage. Are you worried that if you have repeat guests on your podcast, part of Jesse's podcast that he asked you the crime you committed, the last crime.
Well,
you
we've kind of
committed?
changed it. Usually, it's just kind of gone to like a story or something you're not proud
Okay.
of.
So
So
you're not worried about escalation.
no, I mean
About
most of
people like gotta go back on Jesse's podcast. Guess I gotta kill somebody.
a lot of them. You know, it's funny because most of the people that started it out, the early guests, were the ones that brought like really crazy stuff. Like the first guest was like, "Yeah, we used to like knock over Blockbuster like hardcore." I'm like, Jesus, I didn't want it to come out of this. Like, I thought a guy eating a Kinder Egg
Now-
was like, you know, it's funny, but
Did they just like it kept happening because every time they'd go in there and Blockbuster would be like, "There's no money in this
No.
store."
no.
Do you want 300 VHS tapes?
No, the whole story, the way he told it was like the Blockbusters used to have those airlock doors pretty much. Like when one was open, you couldn't open the other one or something like that because security or
They
whatever he
didn't want
said.
you to leave.
So what they would do is they'd distract the one person they was paying to work there, and they would drag him back to the back.
Philip?
Yeah, they would take Philip to the back corner. And go, I need this thing off the top shelf. Philip would walk back to the back corner, and one of their friends would come in from outside and open that door, and then they would just run out with armfuls of movies.
Oh man, I can't believe they got away with all of the games no one wanted to rent
Yeah.
on a Friday night.
And all those copies of Braveheart.
Yeah. I knew a guy in college that would pull basically the same thing in a mall. He would go to a mall and stand by the fountain in scuba gear. and like in moments, like every mall cop's like, go ahead and do it. Do it. We are right here. And then the JCPenney's got robbed.
Man, how many? Because scuba gear's not cheap. This is quite an investment.
Yeah.
Assuming you already had it.
Yeah, I think
BYO scuba gear.
Yeah.
I had a friend who tried to do the same thing, but he wasn't really good with science, so he took a really big magnet and went to the mall and was thinking he was just going to get coins out of the fountain. He doesn't know coins aren't magnetic. And
Is he in a
kinda,
cartoon?
Yeah, it was a big.
Is it like Dr. Claw?
His friend was Violent J from the Insane Clown podcast.
How does this work?
Yeah, he's like, why aren't the coins sticking to the magnet? And he told me the story later, and I'm like, coins aren't magnetic, dude. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought it was because they were in the water.
They were
I'm
wet.
like, oh, man, yeah.
Jesse, I gotta ask though, what made you invest so much in us?
There wasn't a lot of investment, to be fair. Most of
investment.
most of what I have was what I had. You know, I had enough computer equipment to do this twice over. I have this all set up here, and I have enough stuff at home to do my podcast without touching any of this stuff. So
Yeah.
I have enough computer gear, monitors, and I have enough of the spare stuff. And, you know, I had met you from before. I knew you from something that's not going to be named. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it, but, you know, I met you from a con, and, you know,
What was the theme of the con?
video games
Where was the con?
in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
So like a gaming con.
Oh man. Wow. Anyway,
I think what Noah's also saying is like you've invested a great deal of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, time is money, my friend.
well, it's something to do. You know, I mean, I enjoyed work. I enjoy working on different projects, and not having something to do and keep myself busy just it makes me go crazy. You guys know from the stuff I do, when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do something, I do it. I'm going to build something. I build it. Hence why Will has an apple cider press at his
Yes,
house.
he does.
I do.
You know, so it's
Especially engraved cider press.
well, yeah. It's we're not going to say what it says on it, but
It says New Jersey Gamer Con. on it.
Starring Brad Travis.
Adam Leach.
Anthony Leach.
Ah, damn.
He's gonna kill this. Oh, we're not.
Yeah, we're not live. There's nothing you
Ah,
can
you
do.
can't touch us now, Leech.
I guess it's the pride of feeling like I'm part of something. Even part of High Note. You know, working and being part of High Note. Whether I'm just being the DJ, but feeling like you're part of something, helping making something be good or better. It's just something that I have, and that pride is what makes me do it.
Well, thank you so much for everything that you've done. I greatly
Oh, no
appreciate
problem.
it. And, you know, you've turned the show into something very special. And we keep getting subscribers on YouTube that apparently don't watch because the view counts don't go up, but the subscriber count goes up, which I still appreciate. It's
I
very
think my mom just figured out YouTube, so she
Oh,
might be
She
at
figured
least
out how
one
to
of
make
them.
bots.
Well, thanks, Laura's mom.
Yeah.
Laura's mom, Anthony Leach.
Mhm.
So we are going to be working on some other stuff coming up very soon. And I did want to say another one of my favorite episodes that I'm so upset we didn't do one more, and that's the Championship of Champions. This was a tradition. We did 3 of them.
These were sort
where
of like the Jester's days.
we did 2 in Jesters.
Yeah,
We did 2 in Jesters and 1 in Adventureland, where anyone who won a game was invited back for one big game, and the whole show was one big game. And the way the game usually worked, I think it worked like this every time, was we would play basically all the games. So it's like I'd have, and we used to play a lot of different games back in the day.
Who Dat Cat?
Who Dat Cat was one where I would
It's my favorite.
give you a cat and you would have to name where it was from. 5-Star Flop, where I'd read an Amazon review of a bad movie of someone that gave it 5 stars. That was a fun one. Kids Are Rated, I think it was called, where I would give a G-rated description to an R-rated film.
Yes, I remember.
So it
that
was
one.
like, a bunch of, a grandfather and his grandkids have trouble at an amusement park, Jurassic Park. A son comes back from war to take over the family business, The Godfather. So little games like that, and we'd play basically all of them. If you got your question right, you got a pass. And then at the end, we'd play an elimination round of Known For. And you could either bid higher, challenge, or use your pass to stay out of it.
Yeah, God,
And
man.
we did that 3 times. And I believe Frank won the first one and the second
I
one?
think that is correct.
Yes. And then Brian won the third one.
So Brian retires.
No.
No?
Brian asked specifically if this meant that he was going to be the forever champion. And I'm here to announce he's not. Because when the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast comes back from hiatus, we are going to rebrand as Geek Out, and it is going to be nothing but games. So we are starting a brand new game-only version of the podcast.
Now, is this going to be on the same feed?
It'll be on the same feed. It'll be on YouTube's. It might even
on YouTube's, huh?
Yeah, on the YouTubes.
Okay.
Interwebs.
It'll be we'll stream it live on Twitch. It might still be here. Not sure. I gotta go talk to the guy. I didn't even mention that this was our last show to him yet, so I should probably have that conversation at some point. But we're gonna come back. It's gonna be all games. So we're gonna basically test it for a little bit. We're gonna test out the show and the format, and then we're gonna have an official tournament and crown a champion. And I think we should invite Brian back as,
I
as the
absolutely do.
reigning champion. And Will, you can compete.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, we'll compete on this as well.
And what about the other competition that we used to run that was connected to the podcast? We ran 3 or 4 of them?
The Nintendo World Championships.
No.
I don't know what we're talking
Oh my
about.
god, the Slash Fiction Championships.
Oh yes, the Slash Fiction
Oh my
World
god, they were
Championships,
so fun.
which will be coming back to High Note fairly soon.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah, we're gonna have one of those.
Well, did you know about
It's
this?
gonna be
No,
in a-
I did not know about
It's
that.
going to be in
No
a
one-
few months. That's why I wasn't going to bring it up yet. But all the Slash Fiction episodes are now free.
Bachelorette Party.
They used to be plus $2 premium episodes, but now they're free. So you can find them on the feed somewhere. So yeah, be sure to check those out. Those are super fun. And we will make a return to form with the Slash Fiction World Championships at some point. But Geek Out is coming soon. So we're going to take a few months off so that we can get married, do
All of us.
yeah, do a show or edit a show that we kickstarted called Game the Gamer. That's going to be out very soon. We have finished filming on that, so we need to edit it and put it all together. So we're looking at getting that out first. So we're going to take a little break from this so we can get all those things out because people paid for that. So we should probably get that
Thanks,
out.
people.
Also, in the meantime, starting in August, a brand new podcast will premiere on this channel called Stay Doomed. Laura, why don't you tell us about Stay Doomed?
So, Stay Doomed is a show about shows that ran one season or in some cases only one episode, and we kind of dismantle the hype, what happens in the show, the concepts, the aftermath. I feel like I can say they're theme months.
Yes.
And the first month is reality TV.
Yes.
And if you want to get ahead, look up Superstar USA. Because that's our first episode, which is recorded, edited, and I believe in the can, ready to go.
Almost. I got a few more
Okay.
little polishing. to
And
do.
now this will also be on this feed.
that will be on this feed
Yep.
until
So
Geek Out
no one has to
premieres.
change their.
Yeah, so
It's a
it'll.
mid-season
Description.
replacement.
Yeah, I know we said final episode, but there will still be content right here. I
Yeah.
promise you. So I'm not sure what's going to fill in between now and August. I have a few ideas
This
of
is
what it
kind
might
of like
be.
the end of Saved by the Bell, and then when you
The
guys start
college
Geek
years.
Out, it'll be Saved by the Bell, the college
The
years.
college
Ooh,
years,
don't
yes.
say that.
Yeah.
And Stay Doom's like the
it's
movie where they're at
supposed to be
summer
better.
camp.
Yeah, it's supposed to be better.
Was there ever a spinoff that was better?
Was there ever a spinoff that became a game show? Video Power. It's going to be like Video Power.
I don't know. I only
Started
study.
as a cartoon, became a game show. That's a real show.
I only study failed TV shows, so I don't know about ones that,
that ran
turned out
2
well.
seasons. So
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Video Power. So that is coming up very soon. Also, Scott Holiday has a podcast coming out very soon. He's got 2 episodes recorded. It's called Wrestlers Watching Wrestling. I was told that a lot of people really like the Chikara episodes. I was like, why don't you just do a Chikara podcast? And I was like, I bet Scott Holiday could do that.
I don't know why we're talking about it because Scott Holiday has no affiliation with
Yeah.
Boston
No
Comedy
affiliation.
whatsoever.
Mind his own business. I
But
don't know why he gets a free ride on our podcast.
Yeah, seriously.
well, it will not. That will probably not be on this
Good.
channel.
It
So that'll
shouldn't
be
be.
somewhere else.
Is it National Shameless Plug for Scott Holiday Day?
Yeah, jeez.
Friend of the show, Ophidian the Cobra,
Oh.
will be the first guest.
Oh,
well,
well, we-
Ophidian's great.
Oh well.
I can't believe
Tune in
that
for Ophidian
Scott,
the Cobra.
Garbage Man Scott Holiday got Ophidian.
He's such a dork.
I know, he's such a
Oh,
loser.
he's so.
In his dumb purple shirt.
Oh, that purple shirt.
Ugh.
Are you doing the point just out of? I hate you. It's getting late, so we're all like
yes.
starting to get
Yeah.
tired.
And Will, you have a secret project?
Oh, yeah. I do have a secret project.
Would you like to keep it secret, or do you want to reveal
He
your
doesn't, but
secret
that cartoon dog does.
project?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Positively Hard is the working title.
I love it.
You giggle at me.
It's a good title.
Thank you.
It's enjoyable.
But it's a positive review of horror movies show. So it's a lot of people like to, unless it's a critically acclaimed movie. A lot of people like to crap on horror movies, and I tend to like them for all their faults. So
Excellent. So, TBA on when that'll be showing up, but
I'll have free time now.
yeah, that will not be on the iTunes, but it will be on our YouTube page. So be sure to check that out. Plus, the Nintendo World Championship is over, so there's not going to be new ones of that.
Congratulations, Razorhawk.
Yes,
You did it.
congratulations!
You
for
did it,
everyone.
you robot.
And Jesse's still doing In Your Head.
Yep, still gonna be there. 32 episodes deep right now. So, as of this recording, so
Yes.
And we might have some like special one-offs that
Yeah,
come up.
there'll be
along
some
the
special
pipeline.
one-ups.
Yep.
One-offs
That's what we're
coming
calling them
up
now.
soon.
The one-ups.
But yeah, that's going to be a wrap on the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast as you know it now. So we're going to rebrand, and it's going to become something else. And I have a very intense numbering system with my shows, so they're not going to count as Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. It's going to be something else. It's going to be Geek Out. So thank you so much for listening. Continue to like, comment, and subscribe, and give us 5 stars on iTunes and 5 stars on Stitcher, because we're still using this system. So that's still very important.
It'd be
It's
really
still-
fitting if we became Podcast of the Month
Yeah,
for the first
now
time.
you guys are all going to vote for us on podcastland.com.
I
Make
really
us the
might go
podcast of
on
the month.
podcastland.com.
Yeah, everyone do it now.
Yeah, get all your mom's bots to do it.
My mom's army of robots is not to be used for evil.
Fine.
Thank you to everyone that came out and watched some live episodes through the year. So thank you to Brian, Paul, Becca, Sleepy Asian,
Oh, yeah.
who would give us his pants.
Frank.
That was the best. Frank. Katie Versace. Hey, thank you so
Oh,
much for
floor garbage.
yeah, all the times.
Thank you,
Squiddy
Floor
and
Trash.
Ian.
Yeah. There's other people whose names I don't know.
Jeff
Yeah.
Stormer came.
Jeff Stormer.
recently.
Stormer.
Yes.
Beth Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have to do the research, but it's either Jeff Stormer or Derek Badachek who has the most appearances on the show that are not us. 'Cause I think Jeff Stormer co-hosted once. I forget what episode that was, but I know Derek was a co-host once, and a guest and an audience member, and I believe that Jeff also did all of those.
Oh yeah, I guess
spots.
he did come on as a guest a bunch,
Yes.
or rather a contestant.
Yes, an audience member. So Ramon Bender also came to a lot of these. Yeah, thank you so much to Ramon Bender. He was also a 2-time guest. We tried very hard not to do 2-time guests because we wanted to have a fresh face up here all
I
the
think we
time.
only had a handful total.
Yeah.
Ramon,
Sean
James
Capel.
Halley, Sean Capel,
Jeff Stormer.
Jeff
Yeah.
Stormer, Derek Badachek,
Razorhawk.
Razorhawk, technically,
Yeah.
yes, because he came on with his
He
tag
brought
team
up
partner.
Bryce
a pal.
Remsburg.
Right.
Bryce was here twice, yeah. So
Twice the
no-
Bryce.
Yeah, twice the Bryce. So thank you to everyone else who's ever been a guest. We had so many. The ones that come screaming in my head, Brad Geiger, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah.
He's our most popular episode by far, so
Mhm.
thank you to Brad Geiger. Chuck Huber was on the show. That was an
Mhm.
amazing episode. Mike Quackenbush. Just so many people. We don't read comics. Remember that podcast? That was a thing that existed for a little bit.
Yeah, for those who don't read comics, or
I thought it was We Don't Read Comics. It doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, we've outlived a lot of projects we've had on
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, and so many just different, like, the idea of the show was it was supposed to be geeks from different walks of life. And we had game designers, we had cosplayers,
Voice
we had
actors.
voice actors, Reggie Bug Muncher, the sideshow.
Moshe.
Yes.
Boomushay.
Oh yeah. Bug Muncher's how it's spelled. That's not actually what it is. And the Carnival sideshow, we had both of them. He was willing to put a spike through his tongue. I was like, no, we don't have cameras. You gotta wait years.
Now they gotta come back.
Yeah. Just Hypnotist Greg. That if you want a complete madness episode, Hypno Greg, check that one out. He told me not to call him that, and I
Yeah,
just
well,
never
you
stopped
should-
You
calling him
had
that.
wrestlers, comic authors,
Authors.
Authors, American Ninja Warriors.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
several different ones.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride. So
Hula hoopers.
Hula Hoopers. Yes,
She was
yes.
also an American Ninja
She
Warrior,
was
but I
also
like
American
her.
Ninja Warrior, but yes. Needle gnomes,
Belly dancers.
belly dancers, bar fleets. Yeah, conventions, just so many. So all those episodes still exist if you want to go back. The ones that I just mentioned are probably the best ones because they stick out in my mind. So if I didn't mention you, sorry, you weren't.
Yeah,
the
you
number
should have
one.
been better.
Should have been better.
Speaking of things hanging around, what about the crate? Should we
Set it on fire.
do some? Well, all of its contents.
Oh, yeah. Grab the crate real quick and let's. We still have so many prizes that we took from people. So
Oh my
let's
God.
end this podcast by looking at the relics we've gathered over the year.
You mean
This
the
is
trophies
yes,
of
the trophies that we
defeated
have.
foes?
All right, so that I forget who gave us that one. That is from Frank. Frank was an audience member who gave us the best matches.
What is?
That was from Sean Meehan.
Yeah, I think it's a tea thingy.
It's a car refreshener.
Oh.
Yes.
Don't drink whatever.
What else we got here?
You guys want this out there?
Moonbase Commander.
Sean
I,
Capel gave you this.
I know Sean Cable gave us that on our 100th episode.
Oh, it's ooze? Gross.
Yeah, that's been in
He
there.
buys this,
quite
brings
some
us
time.
dinosaurs every time.
I think this was Ramones. This is the
Thi-
Vault
oh,
101
I don't
Fallout.
want that.
Yeah, that was Ramon Bender gave us that on episode 8 of the show. I think it was 8.
I bought this.
Yeah, that was something that you
I got
bought
this
as
for
a
you,
prize.
Noah. This is Sean's other prize. This is a
Yeah.
dinosaur.
Oh, to be fair, somebody probably bought this for me. And
I think that was another Sean Meehan.
no, Alex Perlman gave this to you for your birthday.
that sounds.
Hi,
that sounds
Alex.
correct as well. That's something I gave as a prize because we needed a prize. Oh my God, so much stuff. Floor trash from Katie
Oh, this is
Basardi.
cute.
Snow
Oh,
job.
I want that.
No, what's in my hands though?
Now it's in my hand.
I know everybody really wanted this. This is Snow Job.
I can't believe that's his name.
Oh, his Panic.
Yeah.
I have so many books because we had so many authors on the show because we used to do NaNoWriMo. So I'd have 4 authors on in November, and we'd always win their books, and I've read 0 of them.
Guys, there's one really important prize that we must highlight.
Oh, is that a Dorkable? Yeah, it's the TJ Del Reno DVD. I believe that was Kevin Lau from his second episode on here.
That is correct.
That's in the Severed Head Network was Josh Petrino, because Josh Petrino thought he had to bring a prize for every person in the crowd, so he gave us a bag of stuff. Is the orange thing in there? Yeah, I know exactly what this is.
It's a spool of kite string, isn't it?
No, this is something from a mattress that Nameless Comedy gave us, and because they did this bit where they were improvers, so they would always have a weird prop, and they would hand it to you and be like, "Do something silly with it," and then we won it on the show from them at RyuCon.
Oh my god, I forgot about Ryukan.
Oh, the
soundtrack to The Graduate.
This looks like Ramon, by the way. He's a little tiny ginger man.
That hat, I believe that also came from Frank. Double hat.
Yep. A comic that didn't fare too well.
Oh no! I mean, the crate is full of so many things.
The crate is dark and full of terrors.
It's like a vuvuzela.
Like a vuvuzela from hell.
Yeah. So
No, they all sound like that.
So for those of you who wondered if we actually took prizes from our crowd,
Took them all.
Yeah, that was all real. Like we always actually took.
Yeah.
And
It's like the Predator's trophy room up in here.
We usually gave people something.
Yeah, the
if they
promotional
really
stuff we
wanted.
gave to people.
yeah, promotional stuff we were usually
Stuff if
Yeah,
somebody
stuff
like
people got
really
excited
wanted
about, yeah.
something, we usually let them have it.
No, don't do this. We were monsters. We took everything.
Yeah. Well, I remember the one person who I think gave away a prize that they regretted was Brentalfloss. Because Brentalfloss gave away the novelization of
Super Mario
Mario Brothers in Dutch. And like he's like, yeah, this is stupid. And then you started reading it out loud, and you're like, this is
so
something
good.
I need. And you're like, nope, we won it from you.
lost it.
Aw.
We
And
took
that's
it
why
from
Brent won't talk to us anymore.
you.
Is that the reason?
So this is our legacy. Thank you so much for watching. Something will be here next week. Thank you to Net Neutrality. Here's 2 quick facts about a pineapple.
Sneaky, sneaky man.
SpongeBob's house is a pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
And the pineapple means welcome. So when people hand a pineapple outside, it means that you're welcoming guests. Those are 2 quick facts about a pineapple. Anything to add, Will? This is the Plus 2 Comedy Podcast. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, bye.
It's hot. Jesse, you made a mess.